All right, well, let's talk about the news a bit. Of course, the politics is outrageous. And as I've been reassuring my friends that are very, very afraid, it's not that nothing's going to happen to stop the takeover by the current Nazi regime. Everything they're doing is completely illegal, and the courts are now stepping in. So Elon Musk and his band of criminal teenagers that are messing with the U.S. Treasury directly are being barred by the courts from doing that. Of course, it is insane. There's a very interesting article from Wired explaining who these people are, and Brian Krebs has also spoken up. These people are teenagers who used to be in LulzSec, and they used to be hiring DDoS botnets, and they were just typical criminal punk hackers, and now they're directly in contact with the U.S. Treasury, which is completely illegal and in violation of all the protocols. In order to do this, you would have to have a security clearance and an official government job and have some reason to trust you. So, they're just punk hackers of the type that would never qualify for this kind of job. And by the way, Elon Musk has not remotely the qualifications to be in charge of this. He has neither the authority, nor the security clearance, nor the experience to do any of these things he's doing. And this is Trump's shock and awe proposal, copied from the German Sturm und Drang, where you just do crazy things so fast that you think nobody will stop you. But as I've been telling everybody, that's not true in America. You can do crazy things for a couple of weeks, and then in come the lawsuits and the court orders and the injunctions. And, this is why the Trump and his gang don't like democracy. They want autocracy. They want a dictator, so he can just do anything he wants, and there is no more checks and balances, and that's not our system. Now, there are times when you can do things like that, like FDR. If you can get an 80% majority in a popular vote and in the House and the Senate, then you've got a mandate where you can really make big changes fast. And after 10 years of the Great Depression, America was ready to just move greatly into socialism, and we did it, and FDR was extremely popular for doing that. But Biden just tried to do that with like a 53% majority, and now Trump is trying to do it with a 50.1% majority, and you can't make huge changes fast when the people are not really behind you. Our system is well organized in that regard. The fact is that he has just a bare majority of a couple of votes in the House, a couple of votes in the Senate. He didn't even win the popular vote, completely got like 49.1%, to Kamala's like 47 point something. And nobody is on board with just changing everything when you don't really have a majority with you. It is not the case that the majority of America feels like the whole government is garbage and needs to be burned down. That's just the Project 2025 lunatics. And if they want to do that in America, they have to get more people to support it before they can really do that, which is a good thing, I think. Anyway,
I'm truly convinced that the hardcore base of Trump
yeah,
may be at the most 5-7% of the total population.
Unfortunately not. He has 95% among Republicans. It appears to be more like 30 or 35% of Americans
the real
that are
hardcore, the militia, the potential people.
Well, the ones that would actually commit violence in the street, that's probably like 1 or 2%. It always is. But the ones that would to still support him and say he's right, you should just let him do all this stuff, that's probably still like 80% of the Republican Party, which is like 40% of America. Right? I've seen focus groups. They talk to Trump. They believe, because all they watch is propaganda. So they believe that while Joe Biden was in, America was a disaster with all the stores shutting, with riots in the street, and the cities have been burned down and stuff. And the COVID was fake, and the vaccine doesn't work, and the elections are all rigged. People are hacking into the voting machines. They believe all that stuff. So they believe that all this is really necessary because there really is a huge disaster.
Okay, I was listening, just to add this little short, I was listening to an interview of, do you know, what's his name, Lance? He does, he's a Republican, he does focus groups with, during and he was, the part that I got from one of his answers was that, among Republican voters, you find a lot of voters who have voted by resentment, meaning, they were leaning Republicans, but not fully supporter of Trump. But after having been bombarded with these accusations of and you are Republican, and you are racist, and you are classist, and you are a
Yeah.
sexist, they go mean. I mean, they move
Well-
completely.
Well, you're right. And the people, most of the Republicans supporting Trump cannot articulate why. They don't actually have good reasons. But I think what's going on in America, and we can see it, is there's Republicans are about 40%. The Democrats are about 60%, but they don't all vote because they're much less enthusiastic. And so there really is a small group of swing voters, about 3%, that determine everything. And they went to Biden because they had enough of Trump. And then they didn't like Biden, so they went back to Trump. Now I think he's already lost them because they're not on board with this nonsense. They wanted something like cheaper groceries. And what he's doing is this crazy stuff, taking over Gaza. And they're not really, so I mean, since we are basically 50-50, there's just a small group of people that determine everything. But neither party ever gets enough of a majority to really change much, which is what should happen. In a 50-50 country, logically, we shouldn't change anything because there isn't agreement which way to go.
Here in the US, I'm convinced that we are approaching the point in which we really need a third party.
Oh, yes. Oh, we need a third party all my life. But our whole system is kind of designed for this two-party thing, and it's very hard to break it.
Because even if the electoral law doesn't change, that allows for three parties to run and
Yeah.
compete in the second round,
Yeah.
but at least if there is the mentality in the countries of a three-party system, even ahead of time, the two parties can make an agreement on a
Yeah.
common agenda and defeat the third.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, but I think more realistically what's going to happen is the Republican Party is going to dissolve and vanish and be replaced by a different conservative party, because when Trump is gone, and pretty soon he'll be too old, and when he's gone, there will be nobody to unite them. They're not united at all, except by following Trump. They don't agree about anything. The party doesn't have any principles that's holding it together. It's just following Trump like
Well, it's identity politics even on that side, so in the same way.
they'll try to put somebody in like J.D. Vance as the leader and nobody will follow him. And it will sort of collapse and fall apart. This has happened before. And before there used to be something called the Know-Nothings, and they collapsed. And then came the Republicans. Republicans were the new ones, and they were the breath of fresh air saving us from the corrupt Democrats in the time of slavery. And then they, of course, became old and corrupt. And the Democrat...
Because we're against
Yeah,
slavery.
yeah. The Democratic Party does not look like it's going to fall apart. The Democrats are still happy with it, but the Republican parties are not really held together by anything. They don't really believe. Like in the time of Reagan, they were all anti-communists. Now they don't even know what they are. They're just a coalition of people that hate the government the way it is.
Well, the libertarian stream gave it momentum, gave Republicans momentum, but I don't hear anymore talking in terms of libertarians.
Libertarians are currently in the Republican coalition, but there's a whole bunch of people there that don't really agree about anything. Like you got Elon Musk and his gang that just want to have a new feudalism where the rich just rule the others with an iron thumb. And those people are really coming into power right now under Trump. They just appointed the head of Project 2025 to be in charge of the Treasury just today. So they're absolutely trying to push a feudalistic agenda to move us back not to the 40s, but back to like the 1700s. And I don't think the majority of the Republicans are really on board with that. So they're not going to be able to do that. They're going to try to do that and alienate everybody. That's why I think the Democrats are going to win big in 26 and 28. But anyway, so it's an exciting time to live. We're living through. I've had some Europeans I know say it's like watching the collapse of the Roman Empire, which I think is pretty much fair. And we were once very powerful, and now we seem to be destroying ourselves by fighting among ourselves.
What I'm concerned about is this is not a temporary stage. Here we are. I think we are crossing a tipping point.
Well, yeah.
Which will last.
Yeah.
It seems to me, if I remember history correctly,
Yeah.
it seems to me that every time there is a wind from the right,
Yeah.
it affects also the policies and the politics of the left-wing parties. Because left-wing parties, they say, okay, there is a wind of the right. Republicans or right-wing parties are get the majority. Okay, let's get close to their positions in economics, for example, or in some rules. Clinton, basically.
Yeah.
Clinton was a conservative.
That's right. That's
because
right.
he started adopting recipes from Reagan.
No, that's right. I mean, I think it's fair. Another thing Europeans say is America does not have a left party. We have a right-wing party with two wings.
Right. And so if this is true, and and this is really a way, so then we will be here in this stage for many years, but then even after we will come out from this stage, the Democrats will have acquired, will have absorbed some of the mentality from the right.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Democrats were never a left-wing party. But anyway, we're watching something. If Trump could actually do what he wants to do, that would be the end of democracy. They explicitly want it. They follow Curtis Yarvin. They don't think we should have democracy. They don't think we should have civil rights. They don't think we should. They think we should be ruled by dictators. I want to imitate the European country, Hungary. They want to imitate Hungary as their hero. Anyway, so that's enough of the news. Let me stop this and.